Hey people, welcome to the Run Testers. It's Kieran here. I have come to really very sunny Epping, Nick's neck of the woods. I'm here with New Balance and we are about to take the New Balance Fuel Cell Trail shoe for a first run. They're relatively newly launched. This is the first time I'm going to get a spin in them. We are going to go and meander our way for about a 10k around Epping Forest in the big burny baking sun. Let's go and have a look and see how these shoes run. So the New Balance SC Trail have a pretty sizable stack with 36.5 mils in the heel and 26.5 in the forefoot for a 10 mil drop. When it comes to weight, they weigh 8.9 ounces or 253 grams in our test, men's UK 8.5. And on price, they're going to set you back £200 in the UK or $199 in the US. So let's give you a quick whip round of the shoe then. Well, up top you have engineered mesh uppers. These are quite tightly woven and they're quite dense, with overlays in the high abrasion areas, and you've got this toe protection material that's supposed to help give a little extra protection in case you kick rocks and roots. The midsole features a system with 2 layers of different density fuel cell foam. The first layer close to the foot has the same fuel cell that you'll find in the Fuel Cell Elite Road Racer. That's New Balance's most cushion and responsive foam. Underneath, at the bottom of the foot, you have a fuel cell that's a touch heavier and more resilient. That's to add stability and durability. Sandwiched between those two, in the middle, there is a forked carbon plate, like you'll find on most of the plated trail shoes that have started to hit the shelves. Flip them over and the SC Trail outsole uses Vibram Mega Grip light base. That's 30% lighter and a bit slimmer than full Mega Grip. You've got fairly shallow lugs, and you've got different grip patterns in the forefoot and the heel to provide grip on the climbs and the descents. There are also flex grooves in the outsole so that the medial and lateral sections of the sole can move independently when they need to when you're hitting lumps and bumps, giving you more flexibility and more control as you're moving across the trails. So when it comes to fit, I ran in a UK 8.5, which is my regular running shoe size, and I have to say that these come up a little bit tight. If you're being generous, you'd say that they were race fitting, but this feels like a shoe that you might want to half a size up, particularly if you're planning to run ultra distances. For shorter 10k trail efforts, that really locked in fit was fine, but for longer, I definitely prefer a little more room. So we're just back from a little 7-mile loop in Epping Forest in the New Balance Fuel Cell SuperComp Trail. I'm in Nick's neck of the woods. Didn't tell him I was here though, just in case he came out and chased me around the forest too fast. But yeah, so this is basically a trail shoe that is built for all terrain. It has got a carbon plate in it, a forked carbon plate. You've got the fuel cell midsole foam that you'll find in the other SuperComp trainers. At the top, there's 2 different densities of foam in this shoe though. One is a little bit softer, a little bit more responsive at the top, a little bit more cushioned, and then you've got something that's a little bit sort of firmer, a bit stronger, a bit more durable at the bottom. Got very shallow lugs. I think they're like 4 mil lugs, so they're not too aggressive, with a pattern that offers you a different kind of grip pattern at the front and the heel for your ups and downs on the terrain. But yeah, these are basically made for doing any distance really, anything from short to long and across a range of paces, but definitely able to go fast. Overall, the uppers are pretty locked in. This has got quite a race fit in them. They are, if anything, a little bit narrow perhaps in the size, so these might be shoes that you might want to go half a size up in though. So we've just taken them out on the pretty compact, hard, it's really sun-baked trails here in Epping Forest. A lot of it was a sort of rolling, nothing too steep or too technical, but this first impressions of this really good for that exact kind of run. You know, if you're talking about groomed, compact trails, exactly the kind of thing that I would run in the New Forest or along kind of river paths, those kind of trails. And they have coped really well. I found good amount of stability. They feel pretty natural on the feet. The spring that you're getting, or I guess that kind of stiffness and propulsion from the plate, isn't overly aggressive. It adds a little bit of stability to that softer fuel cell foam, which I think works really nicely. Yeah, overall, my foot has felt really sort of nicely held. Again, I wasn't doing anything that was too twisty and turny, so I haven't really tested if there's any sort of movement to the medial or lateral side too much. But what I have done there, these shoes have coped with really nicely. And as ever, one of the things that I look for in a first run is when you put the shoes on, how do they feel when you first get out there? Do they have a nice disappearing natural feel? And they did. I you know, this kind of shoe that I could forget that I was wearing in the main. Although, yeah, again, on the fit, I think maybe there's a little bit of tightness up front in the toe boxes. It's got quite a dialed in racy fit, so you're going to have to like that. But overall, 7 miles in, I think about an hour or so time on feet, And the best compliment I can pay them right now after that first run is that they are springy and propulsive enough that I would consider using them on Sunday. I'm going to run the New Forest Marathon. So that is a mixture of tarmac and trails, exactly the kind of things that we've just run on now. And these have now jumped into consideration for that race. I might well take them out and do a marathon test in them. I wouldn't be doing that if they weren't forgiving enough and comfortable enough for that kind of distance, that kind of 3.5 hour, 4 hour time on feet. So yeah, that is the New Balance Fuel Cell SuperComp Trail shoe. There'll be more. We'll do a full review on the channel once I've had more time to do more miles in them. But first run verdict, I think these are going to be a nice, good, versatile trail shoe that a lot of runners will like across a mixture of paces and terrains. Yeah, a really interesting one. I'm looking forward to doing some more miles in them.